Hello, this is the first in a series of Relate to Profit administration videos. This is the administration area that we have some features that allow you to look at the website and do some things to the website to make some changes that affect all the users and to look at what's going on. So this is the URL here, zssAdmin with a capital A. And we'll go through each of these features here, and I may skip the subscription code ones and do a completely separate video on subscription codes. So we have an error log that records errors that occur on the website. This will have some errors in it from time to time. The code is old, and some of the things that it does are have been deprecated by the programming language. Doesn't affect the operation at all. There aren't any serious errors that come up, but you can click on this and you will see some errors in here. Minor complaints is what they are at this point. It's nothing here that affects the operation. I'm going to go back to the admin menu. There's also a SQL log, and that is empty at this point. You would see a list of logs here, a current log and archived logs for every month. I have emptied that out. That's mostly used for debugging to see what SQL statements are being executed against the database. It's not errors, it is simply the statements that are being used to obtain information from the database. So it's kind of useful for your developer. To turn those settings on, you go to SQL settings and you can activate it. You can log execute statements, which are inserts and updates, changes to the data essentially. And you can log select statements, which are the statements that are retrieving information from the database. There's a log file name and a folder for it all set up, and then you can also archive these log files. And there's an archive folder which will be found underneath the log directory. So again, mostly for debugging. If your developer wants to see some of the SQL statements that are being executed as the website is being used, they can turn this on. But at this point, I don't see a need for it, so I have turned it off. Trouble tickets we've never used. Not sure if it works. In fact, come to think of it, I know it doesn't work. We were using a third-party tool for this. So just ignore the trouble tickets if you wanted to implement something for trouble tickets that your subscribers could submit. You could replace this, but at this point, that subscription that we were using is expired. Subscription codes, I will do a separate video for and show you how those work. We have a button here to update a subscription. So I used this when I wanted to increase somebody's subscription term. I would look in the database, find their subscriber ID, enter their subscriber ID here, put in the number of years, month, or quarters that I wanted to increment their subscription, click update, and it would change their expiration date. And I would use this if somebody paid outside the system, or if I was bartering for a subscription or any other reason where you just want to come in and modify somebody's expiration date. You can do that here. Just kind of a handy little gadget there. Delete subscribers. So we had a lot of people who would do a free trial, and the free trial would expire and they would not subscribe. So all subscribers would be listed here. So I can select a subscriber, select what information I want to delete. I can just delete part of it, I can delete all of it, or I can delete all subscriber information. Click delete, and their subscription goes away. All of their related data also goes away. I've also used this in the past if somebody tried to do an import and the import duplicated some of their information. I could come in here, and just delete their company information. But this is just a basic cleanup screen where you can remove subscribers from your system. Database cleanup is another kind of maintenance item. I'm going to click it, and it's going to go through, and it deleted or tried to delete orphaned information, and that occurs if some database write failed or things just weren't inserted properly and it left some information hanging. This just goes through and does a general cleanup of records that should have been deleted or weren't created properly. So again, just a maintenance tool to clean up the database. Under reports, we have several administration reports. I'll come back to the subscription code report when I do the video on subscription codes. Subscriber stats report. This is just a quick snapshot of usernames and I believe how many contacts they have in here. I'm surprised. I'm used to seeing hundreds of names in here. So I think this is just the subscription name, the users that are under that subscription, and the number of contacts underneath each user. Oh, right here. User contacts and user relationships. So I'm going to click the back button here. So that's the stats report. New users. So this is a report that, again, I just threw together to find new users in the system. And this is instructing me to put a parameter on the command line. Not real graceful, but if you type in since equals 2010-01-01, it shows me that I've got one new user in the database since this date. Again, I'm going to hit the back button again, it comes back to the new user. So not really graceful, but just kind of thrown together some reports that I needed at the time. So the user accounts report, this is a little bit more robust in that it's going to show expiration dates for the subscription, the company name, the subscriber's name, how many contacts they have, the email addresses that they have as user logins, and the usernames. So you can click on a column here, it'll sort by that column. So I would use this report to look at expiration dates and see whose subscriptions were going to expire and be able to contact those people and follow up with those people, see if they want to continue. Or to look at some really old accounts, if there were really old accounts in here, and get rid of them. So this is a little bit more graceful report and a little bit more useful. And then the user logins report shows every login with a date and time. So you can see who has logged in and what time they logged in. So this report was kind of useful for working with people, and if they're having problems, you can actually check whether they've actually logged in and how many times they've logged in. So this is just, again, another report for kind of general maintenance and looking around in the system to see what's going on. So those are the reports that are there. Some are more robust than others, but some useful information. I'm going to click cancel. It takes me back to this form, this administration form. We've done the reports. Online help is probably really out of date, but you can go in and there is online help here for all the different categories. It's organized by main menu item and then sub menu item. And when you're in the system, when you've logged in, you can click on help and you will get this list of help here. So you can take a look at this. It's got a little editor here for you to format the help, putting some HTML tags in here. But this help is in place. It probably hasn't been updated since we built the system 10 years ago. But there is a help management system, and this is how you manage that information. Test subscribe was just a quickie little button in here that when I was changing the subscription capabilities that would allow me to test the subscription process without actually logging out, logging back in repeatedly. So this button's probably not particularly useful. And then languages allowed us to set up various languages, as I mentioned in an email. We do have multilingual capability available, and that's how I was able to set your date format and set your currency symbol. And I set it directly in the database. I didn't actually use this form to do it. I actually manipulated it right in the database. So there is some multilingual capability. Probably doesn't apply to you, but I thought I would show it to you anyway. So that's the administration menu. I am going to create a separate video for the subscription codes.